welcome back to WKYT News here at 6:30 on the CW Lexington. The presidential debate, one of the most watched with more than 80 million people tuning in worldwide.
A lot of people talking about it. Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump talked about everything from the economy to race and national security, and neither candidate missed a chance to make pointed attacks.
I don't believe she does have the stamina. To be president of this country, you need tremendous stamina.
A man who can be provoked by a tweet should not have his fingers anywhere near the nuclear codes.
Both candidates are on the campaign trail today, touting themselves as winners of the debate. Here to help us break down the debate are Crystal Ball and Trey Watson. Crystal is a Democratic strategist here in Kentucky. She's a former MSNBC news anchor and currently contributes to the Huffington Post and Glamour magazine. Trey's the communications director for the Republican Party of Kentucky. He's also been a campaign manager for various statewide races. Thank you both for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Crystal, I'll start with you. One day later, what is the big story on this day after the debate?
I think the big story is that you got to prepare to be president of the United States. I mean, that was the clear difference last night. You could tell Hillary Clinton knew what her plans are. She actually has plans, unlike Donald Trump in some cases. And she came to the debate with a strategy that enabled her to really take control of the debate and put him on his heels. And so that's why I think you see today most of the focus groups, most of the polls come out and say that Hillary Clinton won overwhelmingly. And you can even tell in Donald Trump's demeanor. I mean, he's out today trying to blame the moderator and say the whole thing was very unfair and he had a bum microphone, which you usually don't do when you won.
Is the bum microphone the explanation for the sniffle, Trey? We had a lot of debate about the Trump sniffle last night.
Tweets at the sniffles.
So what is your takeaway from this on the day after? Because a lot of the analysts said that Hillary Clinton seemed to be the winner, but that Trump came out strong early on.
You know, I think Donald Trump, he came out with a purpose and was speaking to a specific set of voters, and those are voters in swing states, especially in the Rust Belt, Middle America. You have a lot of blue-collar workers who normally vote Democrat, who I think Donald Trump really speaks to, and the whole goal for the next 40-odd days from here on out for Donald Trump is to try to bring those people to his side and convince them of the message that the system is broken, the system's rigged. Hillary Clinton's had 30 years to fix it, and she's not the right person for the job, and that he is.
So, Crystal, going forward, where do they go from here? Because right now it's a very tight race. Do you think last night's debate will change anything in the polls?
I do. I mean, I think actually one of the stories that's going to continue and be a big problem for Donald Trump is his attacks on the Miss Universe contestant, calling her Miss Piggy, calling her Miss Housekeeping because she had gained some weight. And he went on Fox and Friends this morning and did another interview and basically doubled down on those comments and continued to fat shame her. So when he's making pointed attacks at specific people, that's something that in the past has really moved the polls. So I think you see Hillary Clinton gain a couple of points. I don't think we're going to see her up 10 points like we were after the DNC. But I would see this race solidify it, sort of her with a 3 or 4 point lead nationally.
And Trey, what does this mean for here in Kentucky and for the other races that will be on the ballot in November?
You know, I think Kentucky is one of the states, maybe one of the few states where Donald Trump is going to have a real lasting impact down ballot on the future of a state. I think Donald Trump is going to be one of the impetuses that helps us flip the Kentucky State House and put Republicans in control. Donald Trump is polling way ahead in eastern Kentucky, where there's a lot of vulnerable Democratic incumbents. And I think on the strength of his campaign message, and especially on Hillary Clinton's weakness and her statements on the coal industry, he's going to help us flip the Kentucky State House this year.
What are your predictions, both of you, for this presidential race? What do you see happening in November?
I think it's going to come down to being a very similar year as 2012. I think you see her holding on to Pennsylvania, Virginia, Colorado, the states that she's up in right now, and managing to win nationally with a 3 or 4 point margin. I mean, one thing I do want to say about Kentucky is I think Kentucky women heard the same things that women all over this country heard last night and have been hearing from Donald Trump, really horrifying comments. And I think people of all stripes are really disappointed that a man who would run on his wealth and his business dealings won't reveal anything of them through his tax returns. That was another big problem for him last night. Will continue to be a problem for him throughout the campaign.
Trey?
I think this campaign is going to come down to can Donald Trump get Republicans to come home to him, or can Hillary Clinton get Democrats to come home to her? I think most people have their minds made up, and it's just a battle over who can get their people to the polls and who can get somewhat disaffected bases on both sides to come back home and support the winner.
All right. We appreciate both of you for coming.
Thanks for having
Crystal came
us.
all the way from Louisville. You came from here in Lexington.
It was my
Trey
pleasure.
Watson and Crystal Ball. Thank you guys both so much.
Of course.
And you can join this conversation about last night's debate by leaving your comments on WKYT.com or on our Facebook page. Let us know what you think.